Hey everyone, my name's Xavier and welcome to Sigma Theory. This is a turn-based strategy game that's set in a futuristic global Cold War environment, and it plays out like a 1 to 2 hour roguelike. There's 3 reasons I'm playing this game today. Number 1 is that today is turn-based strategy day over at twitch.tv/Xwynns. For those of you who are unaware, I've been streaming Long War Rebalance for like 75 weeks now in pursuit of a victory. Anyway, if you guys are interested, link in the description down below for that. I'll be going live the same moment that this video goes live. Second reason I'm playing this today is because it's made by Goblin's Studio. You guys may remember them from last week's video on Legend of Keepers, because they also made that game, and I thought that was a great game. This year, I've played through 1 campaign already, and I'm surprisingly intrigued by it. But the third reason I'm playing this today is because there is currently a huge promotion for this game. If you guys use the code Xwynns in the link in the description down below, you can pick the game up on Steam with a 25% discount, and by doing so, you'll be supporting this channel with a 40% referral fee. Normally, those referral links only give 4%. This gives 40. It's crazy. If you guys want to help support the channel and also pick the game up with a 25% discount, link in the description down below. We're going to jump into a new campaign here. This is going to take probably about 10 minutes for me to explain everything about the game, how it works, before we finally get into the gameplay. It appears like a very difficult game, a very complex game, but it's actually relatively simple. The mechanics are understandable, they're simplistic, but they're very deep. So there's a lot of replayability. It's an easy game to learn, but a difficult game to master, which is basically the essence of a good roguelike strategy game like this. So our character is going to be called Xavier, and our surname will be Xwynns. You can see here we can pick our allegiance. There's basically 10 starting countries. I'm going to go with the US. Each one has a bonus that changes the way the game plays. For the US, we're going to find it easier to persuade scientists to work for us. Okay, now we could pick something else if we wanted to have a whole different experience, but we'll just start with the US here. Try to keep it as simple as possible because it will be a little overwhelming at first. We have to kit out our spouse. I'm going to be married to a woman. We can choose a whole bunch of different women here. I like this one the most. We're married to our dear old granny spouse, Jing Jing. Okay, no, that's not true. The most closely accurate one to Christine I could find is this one. Sort of. Not really, but relatively. She's Korean, and that'll give us some inroads into the Korean negotiations a little bit later on as well. And that's it. Director Wins! I am Susan Harris, and I ordered your recruitment. I'll be your superior for the next few months. You'll be directly accountable to me. As a specialist in both field operations and delicate diplomatic negotiations, your place is at the head of counter-espionage. But the American government has an even more important mission for you. Several days ago, the scientific community developed the Sigma Theory, a scientific method capable of producing rapid advances with the potential to throw the world into chaos. Within weeks, we'll see the emergence of new weapons with unimaginable destructive power, as well as tools that can influence the economy, society, energy, transport, and even the human mind. Now, basically what the game is a race against time before the world is just changed or the world is destroyed. And these are the 5 things we can research, and these things change every single campaign as far as like who's researching what and what they're going for. So every campaign plays out wildly differently based on who researches what. Our civilization will change beyond recognition. American leaders want to monopolize Sigma technologies. The country that controls Sigma will control the world. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, discover these Sigma technologies with the best scientists at your side. Do what you must to gather a team of agents and use persuasion, diplomacy, and force to acquire the few scattered scientists able to work on these technologies. We currently have 2 in our own labs. We've given you a surveillance drone and a combat drone to assist in your field missions. You also have access to diplomatic support to conduct negotiations with the leaders of rival factions. Now, I realize this game, it sounds a little overwhelming. It's actually very simplistic. We'll get through it pretty quick here. I'm transferring you to our tactical operations so you can proceed. Okay, so every game you have 4 agents. In this specific game, I'm going to go with 3 agents I used my first campaign, and I'm going to pick one new one to showcase one of the mechanics to you guys. When I first started the game, I only had access to the first 12 agents, but even just going through one campaign, I've unlocked an additional 12 more. And there looks to be something like close to 3 dozen in addition to that. There's only 2 statistics. You only have brains and you have strength. That's it. But each character has a list of traits that makes them somewhat unique. So first, 8888 over here has the seducer trait, which means a few scientists can resist this agent's charms. We might be able to use him to seduce scientists to our side. He's loyal, which means there's less likelihood of another agent poaching him from our side. And he's also stubborn, which means that he may disobey our orders during exfiltrations. We'll go over that a little bit later. He's currently has an arrest warrant in China, and also he's got an established recon network in China. So he's our first recruit. I'm going to go with Gamera here. He's got high brains, and that's why I want him. He's a hacker, especially well-suited for hacking. He's a loner. He's incapable of seduction. Are you kidding me? Look at this guy. What about him screams incapable of seduction? And he's also arrogant. He's never going to surrender even when he's in mortal danger. He's Japanese, and he has an established recon network in Japan. We're going to go with Maestro now. He's British. He's got an 8 on the strength, and he has firearms expert, so that's pretty self-explanatory. He's also a wheelman, meaning he's proficient at driving during exfiltrations. He's going to be our dedicated exfiltrator, whereas our infiltrator will probably be Gamera, and also 88 over here. And lastly, Maestro is honest, which is great. He's less likely to be bribed. He's also a seducer, just like 88 was, and he's an intricate web weaver, meaning he's pretty good at dealing with double agents. We'll go over that later. And then lastly, I want to show you guys one thing here by recruiting someone new that I've never recruited before. I'm going to go for maybe Rambler. He looks to be French. He is methodical, meaning the most basic task usually returns excellent results, but he's slower. Additionally, he's a firearms expert, and he's also a spy hunter, especially adept at disrupting enemy operations in your country. Okay. He's got a recon network in France and the UK, and he's got an arrest warrant in the UK. Now, one of the mechanics of this game is when you try to recruit someone you've never recruited before, they're going to ask you why they should join. And this kind of basically just forces you to actually read the profile and get to know your agents rather than treating them like complete pawns that don't matter. After excelling in his studies at Eton, at the age of 23, Alex joined the ground-based air defense headquarters in High Wycombe, England. A specialist in tactical defense, he resigned following a field mission to Yemen, where he saw the horrific consequences of the decisions he had taken back in the UK. He requested and received diplomatic asylum in Canada, which placed him under a special protection regime. Now an occasional but very well-paid consultant for NORAD, he is wanted by the British Secret Service, who want to prevent the risk of him leaking their military secrets to a foreign power. As a result, Alex has learned to defend himself and stay hidden. For us, that makes him a potentially very competent spy. Now, why would he want to join us? I don't think offering him one great adventure sounds interesting to him. You need protection. We know he needs protection, and we can give him that. Bam. He is in. Oh, and I didn't actually recruit Maestro, so let's click him in. Done. That's our team. Easy to game. Here's the strategy map. We have to go through the strategy map. We've got to go through the research, and then I'll show you guys the highlights. Then we can finally play. So the strategy map has 10 factions. On the left, over here in pink, you can see their current alert levels. Every country starts at 50 alert. Additionally, on the right, you can see our current... What is it called? No, not negotiations. Our current standing, I guess, with their government. So our standing with the UK government is 46%. Germany's 38%. These are randomized between every campaign, by the way. France is 49%. We actually have good relations with Russia at 64%, etc. Up here on the top, our relations with the U.S. government. Now, even though we're from the U.S., we don't have complete control. We have to hopefully get the government to approve of us. And they may actually hate us, but if we go all the way down to 0, we lose the game. And we can basically use this, like we can spend a lot of money and our government won't like us, but spending that money means we might be able to pull some agents back from another country to ours. If this hits 0, we lose. Another way we can lose is when the doomsday clock gets to 0. It's currently at -15. Now, this is a little scary, to be entirely honest. Some of the events in this game can change this clock by up to 8, which is more than half of the entire clock. So you have to be very careful not to randomly lose to the doomsday clock. You need to be prepared all through the campaign for this as best as possible. And then lastly, the goal of the game is to research 15 Sigma technologies. Once you hit that, you can start researching the project, and if you complete it, you win the game. Down here you see our rankings between 1 and 10. Everybody's ranked currently tied for first because nobody has any research. Down here on the bottom right, the game is played. Every turn is 1 day. And on each day, we can have a diplomatic meeting scheduled, but we can only have 1 diplomatic meeting at most. And that's it for the most part. We have our 4 agents here. We'll move them in just a minute when we get to the gameplay. We've got our surveillance drone, and we have our combat drone. This here is our research tab. There's 5 different sciences we can research: neurosciences, health, robotics, finance, and astrophysics. Each one of these gives special, unique bonuses at each unlock, and these bonuses might be useful for negotiating with other countries. They might be useful for specific agents. We can trade them to give them to, like, I think it's called the League of States or something like that. It's basically like the UN, but in the future. There's a lot of different opportunities with these, but keep in mind, these are randomized when you start a campaign, and other countries will be pursuing different ones themselves. Meaning we have to kind of react to what other countries do based on what we want to do against those other countries, also based on what we have. And then lastly, over here, you can see a list of all of the different characters involved in the game. First, we have our spouse here. We can see our relationship with her is 50%. Ideally, we want to get up to 100%. But it can also go down to complete hatred, interestingly enough. After that, we have our 4 agents, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beyond that, the goal of the game is to recruit scientists. Now, you'll remember back over here, we had 2 scientists working on astrophysics and finance. At most, we can have 2 in each field, so we can have a total of 10. We're not going to get anywhere near that, but ideally, we want to have a lot more than 2 that we have right now. Now, our scientists also have stats because agents can interact with said scientists. This one, for example, is chaste, meaning she's far less likely to be seduced. This one is flighty. This scientist quickly drops their guard with an attractive person. He's like the complete opposite. He's very easy to seduce. After that, we have diplomats. We have 1 in each country. Now, we can research these guys, and we can find intel to use against them in our negotiations. We'll come to that later. And then, lastly, we have yet to unlock private groups. These will show up throughout the game. There's various factions with their own goals. There's also influential groups, such as, I think, the League of States is one of them. And then lastly, there's armed groups, which are going to throw a wrench in the works later on. That's all the mechanics. Now it's time for gameplay. So what kind of strategy do we want to employ? If we're currently researching towards finance and astrophysics, ideally I want to find another agent or another scientist to pull away from other countries to go into those 2 fields. So let's look for agents in various countries first and foremost. Now, 88 over here, as I recall, already has a recon network in China. Let's go there. Even though he has an arrest warrant, we're going to drag him over to China. We have 2 options. We can fast travel, which will take only 1 turn, but he won't be able to bring a gun. Or we can infiltrate, which will take 3 turns. If we fast travel, we go through the regular airport. The problem with that is he'll be arrested because he has an arrest warrant, so we have to infiltrate. It'll take 3 turns to get there. He'll sneak himself in, but at least he'll have a gun, and then also he'll be in a place where he has a recon network, so we don't have to engage recon when we get there. Gamera has recon in Japan, so let's send him off to Japan to do the exact same thing. He, however, is not going to have an arrest warrant, so we'll fast travel. That'll take 1 turn. Rambler over here has recon in France and the UK, but he has an arrest warrant in the UK. So let's go to France and we'll see what's up over there. Again, probably the fast travel. get there as fast as possible and get our initial network up and going. And lastly, we have Maestro. Now, I don't have a huge use for him right now, but since he's got a recon in the UK, we'll send him there and just do some basic research. Now, there's not a huge reason to move our surveillance drone right now, because it's useful for exfiltrations. But I suppose we'll just move it to France to see if we have anything to do there that comes up in the future. And then lastly, the combat drone has no place to go, so we'll just leave it where it is. That's the first turn. Every end of turn, you get these updates. You can see that we've gained 5% research here and 5 over there. Meanwhile, these two characters are reporting that they arrived in their locations. So, since Gamera has arrived, we can see we have a target, which is the diplomat. I could click on the diplomat and we could investigate them to see what their traits are, but I'm not too interested in Japan just yet. Instead, normally I do a reconnaissance run to build up a recon network here, but since we already have one, being Japanese, we'll go immediately to using our intellect to locate scientists. We'll do the exact same thing over here in France with Rambler. And that's it. Turn 2. End of turn 2, we've increased our research. We went from 5 to 15, but nothing else has really happened. Every single agent is busy. Now, if they're not busy, they'll show up as green. There we go. New agent unlocked. Apparently, the more you play, the more you just unlock new agents. So here's what happened. Our research went up on these two tabs from our scientists from before. Additionally, both of our agents succeeded in infiltrating research facilities. So we know France is researching towards health and finance. Keep in mind, we're doing finance astrophysics. If they have someone on finance, that means they have someone we want, because we want to go for finance. Additionally, Japan is researching towards robotics and finance. There's 2 targets available in each one. Let's go take a closer look at what that means. But first, our wife shows up. I heard you were assigned as head of the Sigma division. Please accept my congratulations. Your love and support get me through my missions. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's say that. I'm touched. But don't go out of your way. We both know all about the dangerous game of politics. We're going to need to help each other. If I can count on you, you can count on me. Relationship improved by 5. They'll come into play a little bit later. But for now, all 4 agents have assignable missions. So first, let's take a closer look here. You can click directly on their portrait to open up to see what the available targets are. There are 2 scientists we're aware of, but we don't know anything about them. Let's click on the first one. Let's click on Identify. It's going to use our intellect. Our intellect's pretty high. I want to know more about them. We could try to immediately, if we wanted to, try to bribe them or seduce them, but it's better, in my opinion, to see what they are, who they are, or what they like first. We'll do the same thing over here now that we finally made it in with 88. We'll do Locate Scientists, just like before. Over here, we'll do the same thing and research the first scientist to see more information. And then lastly, Maestro's not the best brain guy, so instead of locating scientists and potentially failing and raising their alert level, let's come over here and investigate the diplomat. Uses the value of either strength or intellect, whichever is higher, and we do have a good strength stat, so this is a good chance for success. And that's it for now. Alright, I found something potentially useful about the diplomat you assigned me to investigate. What he found is that she's a craven. She might agree to your demands if you threaten them with something concrete. But we didn't research everything about them. There's still more to find out. I want to investigate again and see if I can unlock that last one. Sometimes you can turn up compromising files you can use against them, too, in negotiations. Everyone else is busy. Let's wait. Ah, we got formal. The diplomat prefers formality and respect. Good to keep in mind. Now, we've uncovered intel about these specific scientists, and we've also, in China, discovered what they're researching on. We're not interested in neurosciences and robotics right now, so we'll probably leave that China place alone. It's not super interesting to us. Now, the Eye of the Dragon, Chan Ho. This is a special interest group. I think they're one of the military ones. He represents the Eye of the Dragon. We want to continue our dominance of the illegal business affairs in Asia that support the harmony of our societies. We'd like your help. If you help us, we'll be generous. But if you betray us, we'll reveal your agents' identities to your enemies. We have a mission for you. We are openly at war with the Triads, and we want to eliminate our enemies. We're preparing an attack in China. Send your surveillance drone there for several days so we can gain precise information on their locations. You have 6 days to complete this mission. All right, well, they're going to reveal all of our agents to everyone if we don't do this. I see no reason not to do it, and our surveillance drone's not doing anything anyway, so to China it goes. Let's take a closer look at what we uncovered over here. Professor Pines. She's chauvinistic. The scientist enjoys discussing their home country. Okay, they're working on health, which is not something I'm super interested in. Let's instead try to do some recon on the other one here, using our intellect, which is pretty high. We don't have a huge reason for Maestro to stay in the UK. I could try to locate scientists, but there's a decent chance we'll fail with only 4 raising awareness, so instead, why don't we move to Germany and see what we can pull off over there. Just go for infiltrate, it's nearby. Now, we already found these we know what these scientists are working towards, and we're not super interested in that with China. We can see their specialization is neurosciences, robotics, so instead, let's fly off to Russia. And we're not going to need our gun. Let's just fast travel. The only person we will need the gun on, most likely, is Maestro this early in the game. And over here with Gamera, who's Professor Ogawa? He's a robot guy. I don't want him. We do know that Japan is working towards finance, so the other agent, or the other scientist here is who we want to identify and see if we can woo him into our force. Okay, we're at 50% research on the first 2 breakthroughs, and the UK is currently undertaking a military operation in Iraq. The support of your tactical drones could strengthen our relationship. All right. I like the UK. We're at 46%. Let's send our tactical drones to Iraq. Up here, 88 does not have a recon network in this zone. So what we're going to do is build one right now. It'll take 3 turns to do. And we'll do the exact same thing over here in Germany with Maestro. Boom. Now you guys can see the value of having agents with a recon networks already established before you start. Director, the operation to approach the target scientist has been cancelled. The target has been removed by an enemy agent working for Russia. We will resume operations in this country. So the agent in France that I was investigating was actually pulled away by Russia, meaning they're now in Russia, most likely. Down here, we actually failed in Japan, and the alert level has increased to 60%. Things are getting interesting, boys. Susan Harris from the US has something to say. You've classified your Sigma work as confidential, but at the beginning of the project, we signed an international treaty that requires each country to communicate discoveries for the greater good of humanity. I would therefore like to find a way for us to honor our commitments whilst maintaining secrecy. I'm gonna say quid pro quo. If she does something for me, I'll do something for her. An embarrassing decision. I have no wish to be a haggler, but compromise is better than failure. So we have now lost 5 relationship with the US government. All right. That's not great, but it's also not horrific at the same time. So we know France was working on... Yeah, we know that agent got moved to Russia. So the smart move here, I think. Let's go into Russia in pursuit of them. Over here in Japan, their alert level's a little bit higher. I can still keep searching for agents or doing research. Professor Saruhashi. Graduated finance. Okay, so we did actually succeed at the mission. But we don't know anything about her other than her name and that she works for finance. I really want to know what these traits are. I'm going to risk it again and use our intellect. It's pretty high. Done. All right. Arrived at Moscow. Research went up. Professor Bonner. This is one of our scientists. Bad news, I'm afraid. China has completed the project codenamed Lightning. That was fast. Lightning fast, some might say. We will do our best to reverse engineer the results, which should accelerate our research, but it is sensible to conclude that these discoveries will be used against us. This means China has now deployed lightning-enhanced agents. We believe that this bio-augmentation gives its agents superior physical abilities. So if I confront China's agents in the field, we're going to have a tough time. Eye of the Dragon is pleased that we sent our drone there. As a result of this, relationships with the US government has increased by 20%. However, the doomsday clock has moved forward by 1 minute because we helped out a rogue faction. Also, our relations with Eye of the Dragon have improved by 20% in addition. So, a little good, a little bad. Let's establish a network over here. We can now move our surveillance drone basically anywhere else. It's likely we're going to do an exfiltration in Russia soon. Director, mission accomplished. I've got all the intel we need over here in Japan. Let's go check that out. What is Professor Saruhashi all about? She's a geek. Scientist enjoys discussing cybersecurity, and she's chauvinistic. Enjoys discussing their home country. Okay. Oh, I was going to say I could go seduce her, but she prefers woman. Damn. Oh, well. We could either abduct her, bribe her, or convert her. There's no particularly fantastic way for us to go about doing this. We have high intellect, though. Let's try to convert. First of all, let's see what our relationship with Japan is. 50-50, basically. Let's do it. Let's try to convert her. All right, here in Germany, I don't really want to use our intellect to locate scientists. Let's just do research on their diplomat. Meanwhile, in Russia, we now established a recon network with 88. Let's start looking around for agents. All right, Otto von Lersner is formal, okay? Nothing else really happened. Let's do that again, then. Investigate in Germany, done. Ah! We now have a double agent because we have recruited Saruhashi Miwa from Japan. We succeeded in converting her. Fantastic. And then down here, we have identified one target in finance in Russia. I bet that's the agent they stole from France. Meanwhile, we also figured out that our German diplomat is paranoid. He will warn to you if you talk to them about conspiracies and surveillance. Okay. Good information all around. Our wife has something to say. We are putting pressure on Korea through the UN to put a stop to their experiments on new energy sources. They are at a point of becoming a serious competitor, and this will impact our economy. We just need your department to confirm that the Sigma technology is being used for military purposes. Oh, she's asking me to confirm that they're using this for military purposes. So if I say yes, Korea might be mad at me, but she'll be happy with me, but she's from Korea, so worst case, I can use her to leverage Korea support back in our favor. I'll do it as a favor to you. I want to corral as much favor as possible from her. The government will, of course, be appreciative of your decision. So Korea is mad at us, -25. US, however, plus 10%. They like us. Meanwhile, Eye of the Dragon needs our services. They want to infiltrate the Chinese government. They're going to exchange research results with them. Hidden within them, you'll include a special computer program that we'll provide. You have 9 days to complete this mission. We trust you, but remember that if you betray us, we'll reveal your agents' identities to your enemies. Okay, now China has to say they know we're working with the Eye of the Dragon. It's a dangerous alliance, but it could give us the opportunity to approach these individuals and prevent them causing harm once and for all. Will you work with us despite this? Nah, sorry, China. Don't care none about you. You've made a big mistake. The end does not always justify the means. Negative 10% with China. Meg Cashmore of the World Bank. They're an influential group very interested in your Sigma research in the finance field. The financial balance has never been quite so profitable for all. Okay, we want to work with you. Every time you make progress in our sector, which is finance, they're going to reward us with a greater means to achieve our goals. We appreciate any advances, whether issuing from your own laboratories or acquired through less scrupulous means. We can share our research with them, but we don't get as many points for it. We'll cover that a little bit later. Also, Aaron Chen from the Star Frontier is here. He's interested in our research in astrophysics, the exact same thing as the last one from the World Bank. Now then, things are heating up. So you can see over here we've got a double agent. Now, we can't control her. She's just increasing our research over here in the research tree. I think it's actually shown... Yeah, so right now we got +0 because we just recruited her, but it'll show the +% every turn that our double agent is adding to the pool. Pretty sure we're going to have to run an exfiltration soon, so let's get Maestro over here. He's going to need to infiltrate because we're going to need him to have his gun. It'll take 3 turns. Let's not forget those Chinese super agents, shall we? I don't want to go up against them if possible. But they want me to come over here and hack the Chinese. I suppose since we're done in Japan, our hacker can come down there into China. Let's see if we can pull it off, shall we? What do we have here for agents? We need to identify this one pretty much immediately. It's going to use our intellect. We've got decent intellect, but we actually have more than the other fellow. We've got a 6 there. Rambler's got a 7. Let's have him figure out who this is. Identify. Good. We could locate more scientists in Russia if we wanted to. Keep in mind, these are our best allies at 64, but I'm not super concerned with that, to be entirely honest right now. Alright, I feel like we should just go someplace new. Let's go to Turkey here with 88. And we'll investigate what's up when we get there. I know he did establish his network there, but it's not super important because we found the person we need to get. So let's expand to a new territory soon. Okay, our double agent's providing +3 research towards finance every turn, which is great. You can see it's pulling ahead of our other astrophysics research. 88 in this new zone can go for recon, establish a network. So over here in China now, we want to use Gamera to hack for this quest. But first, I think we should establish a network. It's going to take 3 turns. We have 8 turns before this quest expires, so plenty of time. Okay, +4% now from the double agent. Interesting. I think you have to go talk to them every once in a while to maintain them. We failed in... Well, we got intel in Russia, but we were detected. So it's kind of like a moderate success. Our alert went up by 10%. Meanwhile, the UK is very helpful that we helped them in Iraq. Our relationship has gone up to 66% over there. And we've discovered our first Sigma technology. Stability. Can predict financial market movements with 100% accuracy. This could be the end of capitalism as we know it. So we can disclose this technology to the world for the good of all mankind, or the World Bank, an influential group in finance, has requested that we deliver this information to them for their exclusive exploitation. If we publish it ourselves, we get 3 of our 15 research, and we reduce the doom counter by 10. But if we give it to the World Bank, we only get 2 research. However, our World Bank rep goes up, our rep goes up with the US, and our rep, I think, in the whole world goes up. So, shall we be cooperative with the planet, or should we focus on ourselves? Let's be cooperative this time. We will give this technology to the bank. The World Bank is particularly satisfied with the delivery of stability. The latest World Bank reports confirm to us that our financial stability... Financial stability control is working perfectly. We have redirected a small part of an African country's operating funds towards our own. Our leadership will be delighted to know that the budget is effectively quadrupled. Personally, I'm sorry that once again, it is the poorest who pay for the rich. So relations with everybody have gone up by 10%. But we didn't remove the doom clock by 10. India has completed Mentalist. That's a different project. It can be used to boost the mental abilities. Okay. How are we doing down here on Professor Aspect? Let's identify him while we're here with our intellect before we infiltrate over here with Maestro. Alright, double agent's providing 2% now. And India is now running an operation in Mali. Alright, let's send out a drone there. Also, we've researched the solar network. So we have two options. We can give it to the Star Frontier, or we can keep it once again. If we keep it, this is what we get. Scientists can use solar network technology to hide the energy signal of their lab and is more difficult to approach. What this means is it basically protects our scientists versus enemy agents. I'm going to go for this one rather than the world cooperation. Okay, our energy network is now entirely independent. No one can really see what our scientists are. Professor Bard has gained undetectable, and Professor Bonner has gained undetectable. France has completed the Panacea project, which means they can synthesize a universal drug against cancer. The UK has abandoned the race. The significant lag behind the rest of the world has made its operations too... Aw, poor UK. So they're out. We can go there and pick up whoever's in their territory. And Rambler, who had an arrest warrant, is no longer having an arrest warrant. The UK has capitulated. All right, now we've got the anti-capitalist brigades. They want to destroy capitalist system that have been the cause of hundreds of millions of deaths for many decades. We'd like your help. If you help us, we'll be generous. But if you betray us, we'll kidnap one of your agents and deliver them to your enemies. They actually do this, by the way. It's not like maybe. It will happen if we betray them. We will lose an agent, and someone else will get it. They have a mission for us. Comrade. They want us to infiltrate the financial markets to destabilize them. The Russian Sigma head has access to Wall Street. Investigate them. You have 7 days to complete this mission. The Russian Sigma head has access to Wall Street. I'm going to say I'm going to work together because I don't want one of my agents to tootle this early in the game. All right, Maestro just showed up and we're still doing recon on the agent there. So since he's here, what we need to do here, it shows very clearly. We need to research Igor Lavrov. Let's do that. Investigate. We'll use our strength with Maestro. Beautiful. You guys can probably see by now how diverse every one of these games is going to turn out. Director, mission accomplished. I've got all the intel we need on this scientist, Paul Aspect. Okay, good. Let's go check him out. First, China has completed Switch. Integrates AI into support drones. Our own drones could be the first target of this weapon. That's not good. Oh, Director Maestro has built up a significant erotic correspondence with the head of the Council of States lobby. I've got plenty here to make them sing, but what information do you want me to get out of them? Let's get their research results, I think. They have access to results from all over the world. I want those shared with us. I've received your document, and I'd like to thank you for your discretion. We're going to give you the latest results obtained from our contacts in other nations. So other nations who shared their research with the Council of States will then have their research shared with us as a result of this. Meanwhile, the anti-capitalist brigade is pleased. We have access to Wall Street. We presented 88 to our contacts. They can now access our weapon stockpiles around the world. All right, so 88 can now access weapon stockpiles. He's a smuggler, but the Doomsday Clock has increased. And our relations with the anti-capitalist brigade have gone up by 20%. Whew! Okay, let's check out Professor Aspect, who's French. He's heartbroken. The scientist works less effectively after a disappointment in their love life. So he's not even a good, after all that work to find out where he was and what he does, he's not even a good scientist because he's heartbroken. He's misandrous, he's very wary of men, and he also prefers the company of women. And he's a prisoner, making him even less effective. This guy has got to be useless. I mean, I don't even want to recruit him because he's going to be like a prisoner for us if we abduct him, and he's going to be heartbroken. Let's just find... And Russia's going to not like us as a result of it. Let's just find someone else. I know that they're heavily focused on finance. They have to have more agents. Let's locate. Plus, we have the spy drone there, increasing our ability. We've established our network over here. Let's look for more infiltration opportunities. Our network's established in China now. We can now use the agent to hack and take control of enemy drone. God, I've never even tried this. I misunderstood. So what we actually need to do here is we need to request an audience with the diplomat in China and negotiate for an exchange of research results with them. That's different than what I thought it was, actually. So if we hack with them, that might decrease our reputation. A better bet then, while we're here, is let's investigate their diplomat to see if there's anything we can use against them. Suppose we'll establish a network over here with Maestro. We don't need him in the immediate term. Okay, this is what we learned about the diplomat. Everything. He's a craven. Diplomat might agree to your demands if you threaten them. The diplomat prefers formality and respect during negotiations. He's formal. And we found falsified qualifications. A press release intercepted before publication. We can use this against him. Fantastic. All right, boys. Let's go request a meeting. Next available slot, November 15th. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. No! We don't have time to negotiate the meeting. Well, looks like we're going to fail that Trojan horse then. All right, let's hack while we're there. All right, so you can see here, because we're in China and we're set up, every other place has 3 plus signs next to discretion, but China actually only has 2. So we're somewhat discreet. We're a hacker, so our hardware is a little bit better. Let's see what we can pull off here. What specifically do we want to hack? Steal the Sigma data, lower the alert level, install ransomware, delete an arrest warrant, or locate scientists. I think if we make it easier with the lower threat, that's probably the best thing we can do right now. Let's give it a whirl and see if it works out for us next turn. Oh, by the way, I should have moved my combat drones over here a long time ago, and I forgot about it. So in Russia, we figured out what's going on, but they're more alert now at 70. We've found someone in the finance. Really, that's what we were looking for. Also in Turkey, we see that there's 3 targets we found. They're working on neurophysics and astrophysics. We're working on astrophysics. Let's do more research on that, shall we? While we're here, let's just identify all 3 of these people one at a time. Okay, turns out I was wrong. There's only 1 total target then in Russia. And we already know who he is, and we know that he's not what we're looking for. So let's go somewhere else. Let's go down here to Turkey, since there's 3 targets there. And let's get this combat drone down here. The alert level has increased in China by 10%. I wasn't able to infiltrate their national alert system. I've noticed my intrusion and strengthened their security. Our relations have deteriorated by 8% as well. Well, so much for our hacker being good at hacking. By the way, our double agent over here is not doing so well. Let's send someone over to go contact her. Fast travel's fine. Rambler's going to need a network here in Turkey. And then lastly, you know what? Let's get someone over in the UK to pick up those free agents that are sitting there doing nothing, if anyone's there. Okay, we got some intel now. Also, your security personnel have confiscated the drugs I had for personal use. It's a heroin derivative I use to improve my performance. I'm in withdrawal. Give it back. I need a double dose to compensate for the withdrawal. Oh boy, our scientist is a heroin addict. Share the drug with the team, sir. Share it with the team. Okay. Okay, well, since all of our scientists are hopped up on heroin, the doomsday clock is now gone up. Also, Professor Bard has died. However, we've got 100% research in astrophysics, and we've gained geoforce. Oh, God. Our fight against financial tyranny progresses. We need you to steal data from the Russian Sigma cell. Okay, they're gonna kidnap one of my agents, which is terrible. Also, the Russian diplomat has to say hello. Ah, they want us to side against him, but the second I do it, we're gonna lose an agent. And I don't want to lose an agent. But Russia likes me. Alright, let's try it. Let's see who we lose. We need to locate the leader of the anti-capitalist brigade group, and we need your help to do so. Send your combat drone to China, which is currently protecting this leader's family. We'll exert diplomatic pressure to obtain their location. The trap. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to pull out of this operation here, helping India. Let's get the intel down here in Turkey as well. It doesn't need to be over there anymore. Oh, we can exfiltrate her. She's working as a double agent, but she's got the storm cloud, which I think means she's about to, like, stop working as a double agent. While we have the opportunity, we could exfiltrate her. I'm gonna try it, actually. You guys can finally see the exfiltration. So here's how this works. At the top, we have the current alert level. Down here, we can see our ground agent. We can see what weapon he has, a knife. We can see his escort, and we can see what kind of support we have. We didn't bring the spy drone, nor did we bring the attack drone, nor do we have any organizational support. So basically, we're on our own, and we're blind, and we have a knife and no gun. However, I got a good look at one of the agents up ahead, and I know this guy. Old acquaintance, small world. He might be willing to help me if I can manage to speak to him alone. Alright, I approve. Down here is our health, by the way. If that goes to 0, we're dead. Ah, Maestro deployed Seducer. He agreed to help me. He'll throw the agents off his scent. Beautiful. Alert's gone down. We moved 200 meters. I'm on the planned route, but I've run into a fence that definitely was not in the briefing. I think we can just go over it. Worst case, he takes health. Oh, he deployed his strength and it worked. So each one of these, I think, has a behind-the-scenes roll check. And we just succeeded and we moved 300 meters. We're just getting lucky. Uh-oh. I didn't have a choice. I had to take a hostage to avoid an ambush. I stole a car and I'm gaining some distance. He is a driver. I'm wondering if I should keep the hostage to cover me until the mission is complete. Good idea. Keep him close. Deployed strength. Everything went as planned. He freed the hostage because they were slowing me down, but I got far enough away that I disappeared off the radar. Uh-oh. Okay, so now, if we had a drone, we could have avoided this, but alas, we didn't. He's been spotted. 2 threats. They're on me. You can see down here. 1, 2 threats. We can either surrender. We can flee, which is risky. We can neutralize, which is risky. It uses strength. This uses intellect and uses strength. Or we could eliminate, which is risky. Uses firearms expert, but we don't have any firearms. Oh, wait. No, actually, I think we do. All right. Let's eliminate him. I don't care. We've got plenty of alert. Success! Whoo! The alert went up! But we deployed firearms expert. I guess we did have the gun. I thought we didn't. Okay, now they've deployed 8. Oh, God. 10 police officers are searching for me with a surveillance drone. They're nearly on me. Oh, my God, no. Use intellect, use strength, use strength. Use strength, firearms expert. This is dangerous. These ones are very risky. This one's dangerous. We have health, and we're a firearms expert maestro. Kill them all! I launched an attack, but I didn't eliminate them all. I took a hit. His health went down. He deployed firearms expert. Wow, look at that. He killed 6 of them, and there's 2 remaining. Eliminate them. Woo! Dealt with the threat without any issues. Alert level is freaking high. He's in a precarious situation. A young police officer is holding me at gunpoint. He's shaking! You're faster, and you're armed. He deployed firearms expert. You were right, I was faster. The way is clear. There's a crowd of civilians straight ahead, but I don't know why they're there. I'll be vulnerable if I continue as planned. Okay, you may deviate from the plan. The planned route's right there, and we have the alerts pretty low. I'm going to deviate. It will go slower, but it's okay, I think. Yeah, plus 100 meters. Alert went up a little bit. Not too bad, though. I'm passing by a hospital emergency room. I could make a detour and see if there's something I could use to patch myself up. Yeah, we have some time. Nice. He used his intellect. He found an unattended room, and he patched himself up. Now, if I didn't do that, I think after the battle, he would have been wounded for a couple of turns. And we're out. Whew! Maestro and Professor Sarahashi successfully reached the extraction point and have escaped the country. 10 military losses, 9 civilians. Our relationship with Japan has gone down by 9, but our relationship with the U.S. government is now plus 15 at 100. Japanese diplomat says they can't prove it, but they know it was us and will regret it. All right, that was actually a really good place, I think, to end the episode. Now, my last campaign lasted about 2 to 3 months. I think I made it to December or maybe early January. You guys can clearly see things just go all kind. Like over here, you can see Maestro on the plane with Professor Haruhushi or whatever it is. She's going to fly back and become one of our scientists in our now protected laboratories. However, Professor Bard overdosed on heroin, so that happened. We can increase our defenses here. You can also see there's no one here, and there's no scientists, so there's no one actually to pick up. Sometimes there's extra scientists, but there was no one here, so no reason to be in the UK whatsoever. There's a target down here in France, though. Go over there. Anyways, you guys get the idea, I think. It's a fun little game. So once you get 15 Sigma research, you then open up the new tree over here, and you have to get one... There's basically 5 sides. You have to get 1 scientist for each one and then get to 100% in all 5 of them. And then you win the game. Other people will be doing the exact same thing, though. So it's kind of a race. And they're going to be trying to set you back. You'll be trying to set them back. Things play out differently every single time. My last campaign, I went neuroscience. And I think I got some health that made my agents, like, had double the health. And they got a... in astrophysics, they got a special fast jet. Yeah, they got, like, instantaneous travel when you get the Stratos project. And then in the neurosciences one, I got something that gave me, like, a temporary mind control. All kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, some good, some bad. It's a fun little game. I mean, it takes about... If I wasn't sitting here explaining it like a maniac, it takes about 1 to 2 hours. We could have probably finished the game by now. But there you go. If you guys enjoyed it, link in the description down below. Use code Xwynns to buy the game from... It's a code to buy the game directly from the developer. The code will then be used on Steam to apply the game to your library. 25% off, and it massively helps the channel with an outstanding 40% referral fee. And otherwise, I'm streaming Long War R the rest of the day. If you guys are interested, hope to see you there. And that's it. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Okay, well, since all of our scientists are hopped up on heroin, the doomsday clock is now gone up. We've got 100% research in astrophysics, and we've gained geoforce. Also, Professor Bard has died.